Hey everyone, welcome to the Weekend DSP for the week of November 12th. Let's go over the schedule as always. Now I don't have it up on here, but Monday, November the 12th, he played Dragon Quest XI in the day and Black Ops 4 Blackout in the evening. I restreamed that, so if you want to catch the Blackout restream with my commentary, it's here on the channel. Tuesday was the premiere of two big games, Hitman 2 and Spyro 2 Remastered. Wednesday is more of the same with Hitman 2 and Spyro. Thursday, we have a conundrum here, where he has Hitman 2 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where it's also his day off. But he fixed that later on, where he said Thursday is his day off. Friday was Spyro 2 and Dragon Quest XI. Saturday was whatever didn't win the poll for Friday with Dragon Quest XI. Then Sunday was Black Ops 4 multiplayer and what was supposed to be Assassin's Creed Odyssey in the evening, but he canceled that. He said he had a lot of adult things to do, like taking a shower and shaving, things that take minutes. Now, I can't rag on him too much. I do like a good long hot shower at the end of the day of a long day of work. And he probably could use a good hosing off every once in a while, especially since he skips showers pretty frequently, I'd have to imagine. But those are poor excuses for why you can't do a fucking stream. The other thing that's really amazing here is Tuesday and Wednesday are basically copy-pasted schedules. And then the Thursday thing where he's asking for a poll on what to play on Friday really rubs me the wrong way, because the week previous to this, he was shitting on people, telling him to go vote, it's your civic duty, it's your responsibility, if you don't like the way things are, if you want to keep things the way they are, whatever it is, go vote. He's like, oh, I'm sick of hearing about voting, blah, blah, blah. Well, this motherfucker's run like 3 or 4 polls in this week. And what's great is he keeps fucking deleting the polls off of his Twitter. So he doesn't want people to see the results. He's going to take it as some passive feedback on what's happening, what his audience is feeling, but they don't get to decide. It's basically feedback. It's not you get to choose, which is just further and further reducing the amount of interactivity his audience is allowed to have with him. The other thing I want to point out is if you look from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, his sub-goal is to throw a holiday gaming marathon. We'll be seeing Drunk Side Phil, even though on Twitter he's already said he won't get drunk. So that means he'll take a sip of eggnog and be acting drunk the whole evening. To the second half of the week where he said we hit all sub-goals for November on Twitch, so we'll have the gaming marathon and a holiday edition of DSP Tries It. Now, Phil said he had an object in mind that he wanted to do with the DSP Tries It. And I think that that's good that he had a goal in place, as opposed to, hey, here's the sub-goals, and then I'll come up with what happens when we hit them. And then he delays it by like 6 months. I want to say, like, the Halloween DSP Tries It, the Nightmare Burger, that was something that was hit in June or July. Maybe even August with Tutankhamun, but he delayed that DSP Tries It for a long time. And, like, I think he was, like, even pressured by his chat to doing a DSP Tries It, and instead he said, okay, fine, but he still didn't have an object in mind, and he kept putting it off with the excuse, I don't have an object in mind. And now he's like, okay, people were hammering for a DSP Tries It. Maybe if I have an object already in mind, people will be curious and will push for the goal. But it seemed like almost every night that he wanted to get some sub-goals, his sub-count would, like, constantly drop. During Phil's Dragon Quest XI stream, a lot of people were commenting about how Stan Lee had passed away. Rest in peace, Stan Lee. Phil got kind of annoyed with a lot of the attention about a recent celebrity death, and this is not the first time that this has happened in Phil's stream. It came to a head, though, where a user made a joke about Stan Lee's passing, or maybe just asked, how did Stan Lee pass? I don't have the full context because really just the quote from DSP is really fucking great, where he laughs at the idea of Stan Lee dying.
Your boy Jermaine says, so just so you know who we're watching on YouTube today, Stan Lee passed away. Very sad day. But your boy Jermaine just said, it'll be fun when people start asking, how did he die? Oh, his shoot didn't work. Oh, he got trampled at a Metallica concert. Yeah, Stan Lee was doing these crazy things.
Now, I'm not such a prude to think that anything is sacred and that you can't laugh at. Like, there are things that you can't laugh at. However, there's kind of a time and a place, but more like you got to be funny with it. Like, if you're going to use humor as a coping mechanism, I mean, like, I could understand a bad joke and it failing, but then he laughed at his own joke afterwards, which is just kind of an obvious tell that it was not funny, and it made the joke fall even flatter because he's already laughing at his own humor before we've had a chance to absorb the joke. Now, if you didn't think that DSP was ridiculous enough with making fun of Stan Lee dying, he also let slip during his Blackout gameplay. He gets baited into an ultra salty Tevin rant, going on and on about how he has no talent, how he makes more money than Tevin, and he can't seem to get him off of YouTube. He even tries to say, people have tried.
People have told me they've tried.
Now, I thought that comment would bite him in the ass a little bit more than it actually did. We already knew that Phil was flagging people on the side. We had the DMs leaked from someone that he had asked to go and flag down detractor channels or people who put up misleading information, including the secret life of DSP, who has invited Phil in the past to correct the record on anything. There was even a time where Secret Life was in Phil's Twitch channel under their real name, not a troll name. And Phil called them out and asked them to change the detail. And Secret Life said, well, according to the information I have, it's correct. So unless you have anything to offer that's contrary, I'm going to leave it the same. And then was banned. So that just goes to show the kind of discourse that Phil has. And I think that's the only evidence of Phil actually having any interaction with a detractor in recent memory. Otherwise, they just get their troll cheer at them and he blocks, bans, and mutes them. On Kiwi Farms actually reports on the Blackout stream where BananaBot had gifted 7 subs and had the top cheer. Phil never updated the leaderboard for them. Itachi also topped the top tip with a $7 tip, but Itachi didn't even make it to the leaderboard. Phil doesn't even pronounce BananaBot's name correctly when thanking him briefly at the end of the stream before he clocked out super fast. But of course, he always appreciates your support, and he really needs the money. He really does. He doesn't want you to buy him a nice gaming PC. He needs you to pay off his taxes. But the main point I wanted to point out here was the 52 gifted subs this month. Phil is still only at 511 subs. Now, keep in mind, he has these sub goals still in this place. 512 is drunk side Phil, and 550 is a DSP tries it, or vice versa. But this has been going on the entire month, where Phil's numbers would pop up a little bit. He'd get like a few gifted subs here, some people resubbing, some new subs, and then a bunch of subs would fall off. Subs and sub goals are going to be an important theme this week. 52 gifted subs and only at 511 subs means Phil's real number is at 469 or 459. But the important thing here is that it's actually organic growth. Now later on in the Kiwi Farms, and I believe on Twitter too, I don't have the actual post in front of me. I want to say it was credited to Theo, but I could be wrong on that. That none of Phil's sub goals have ever been met outside of a bunch of whales donating a bunch of subs. It's actually unfortunate that a bunch of subs were gifted and that the sub goal was met. I kind of agreed with Soap Queen that it would be absolutely hilarious if none of the sub goals were met and we come up on December and Christmas time and Phil doesn't have any eggnog, he doesn't have his stupid Santa beard or Santa hat on, and he's just playing regular games. No marathon, no nothing, just sitting in silence, snorting to himself and playing games. A regular stream for the holidays. Tuesday, November 13th, Phil hits the sub goal. thanks to someone named Leica that came in and dropped another 10 gifted subs. So now Phil has hit his 525 goal, the first sub goal of the month. That's with a total of 64 fucking gifted subs. But he's really feeling the momentum, you guys. Congrats to Phil on topping $400 today. All it took was 3 separate people cheering more than 6,000 bits. 32 of those gifted subs come from the new beta bitch, Crazy Dream. And the reason why I want to point out Crazy Dream is because he hit the leaderboard a few times, and later on this week, he gets abused by the mods and threatens to take away his support, and Phil goes into a fucking Bob Ross impression to try to placate all parties involved. And at the end of the post, actually points out, Derpy Who's 54 gifted 20 more subs. Derpy Who's has never once typed anything in chat. And then immediately after gifting, Derpy Who's is gone. 100% legit. Now, I really rely on actually a lot in a lot of these reports. He's one of the frequent Kiwis that I will add to my sources. He has a setup, I think that it was Eddie B or Secret Life who described it to me, where he has something that looks at screenshots of Phil's chat and sees every time that a tip or a cheer lights up. And then he only has to look through those screenshots and tally up the separate instances. He does the month-end breakdown. He does really good math on figuring out Phil's speculative income, but it's with good numbers. It's very good educational guesses at Phil's actual income. And it's always on the smaller side, too. It's never on the speculative, oh my God, Phil made $1 million this month or anything like that. It's like, oh, worst case scenario, he comes out with $7,500. Best case scenario, he made $12K. Those kinds of numbers. And this is the kind of post that I look for when I'm making these videos, is someone who has well-researched numbers and isn't just sitting here and going like, I wonder if Phil has a cocaine addiction. And then we get distracted for like 10 pages of people going like, oh yeah, cocaine addiction makes sense. Or you guys are fucking idiots. This is like the escort saga all over again. I wanted to save that rant for later on, but the fucking Kiwi Farms did spend like 10 to 15 pages thinking, it makes sense that Phil has a coke addiction. How else does he snort all the time? It's really mind-boggling. And we don't need this kind of gross speculation with no fucking evidence, because then we end up looking like goddamn assholes, just like the escort saga. And then it emboldens Phil even more, because he's like, look at these guys making up this shit that has nothing to do with me. There's no evidence to back it up or anything like that. When we have good evidence, like this car situation, the Subaru man, and checking out the insurances, that led to a whole collective of gold dust, with Jeff Rudell and Kat's backstory even more beyond just the exorcism stuff. That's what good research gets you. When you're just sitting here and going like, what can I pick out to make fun of Phil today? What can I pick out that makes sense vaguely if you connect the dots in a certain order versus the correct order? Tuesday is another fucking pull from this guy, a week after the midterm elections in the United States, where he was shitting on all of these celebrities, all of these politicians, a lot of companies and organizations, grassroots or actual big business, encouraging everyone to just go to the polls and vote, go to the polls and vote. He said, okay, there was too much push for this. I'm not going to go vote. And I don't want to rant on this too much because I did last week, but in his state, they only do mail-in ballots. He didn't have to go to a polling place. He just had to tick some boxes and set it in a mailbox. And if he was too scared to leave his house, he could have given it to Kat and say, drop it off in the mailbox on your way to work, honey. Thanks. I got to get back on camera. So now here he is. He's running a poll. Should I get it or skip it? And then he's got yes, get it, no, and no. So totally honest poll, guys, where 2/3 of the options are no. And he's relying on you to vote. And so he can ignore the results and just go with what he wants at the end of the day. This is also really unfortunate too, because I will run polls to try to see what you guys want. And unfortunately, I'm just small fry, so I don't get a whole lot of replies back. And it makes it really hard for me to try to discern from the information given what to do. Like my last poll for the multiplayer event that's happening next week. It didn't happen last week. It's still going to happen. I had like 4 votes here, 3 votes here, 3 votes here, and 3 votes here. And it was just like, well, they all tied. So at the end of the day, I guess it's kind of like, what do I want to do and what do I want that makes sense? By the way, it's going to be TF2 because that's a free-to-play game and kind of a nostalgic throwback. Phil, on the other hand, will get hundreds of replies of trolls or not, but then he just completely throws it out and goes with his gut anyways. So it's really a waste of a feature and a waste of a way to try to get to his audience. This guy has shut off all avenues of anyone to give him any sort of feedback whatsoever. YouTube comments, disabled. Barely replies to tweets, and if he does, he blocks you while calling you an idiot. You try to message him on a game, you get muted. You try to say something in chat that goes against his narrative, you get banned. Not even timed out. Not even, hey, we don't talk about that here. Just boom, instantaneous ban. You can try emailing him, but I got to imagine that his email address is signed up for all sorts of shit, all sorts of gay porn accounts and whatever else people want to do, Scientology, the ISIS newsletter, everything under the fucking sun. How is he going to see any email and then figure out any of those emails are legitimate or not? By the way, I'm using Comma's screen cap of the poll because like his other polls that he ran in the past, especially the Fallout 76 one, he deletes them as soon as they're done. So that way only he can interpret the results and he can be like, oh, well, such and such option was the one that was the closest to winning or closest to my opinion or whatever. Clownpiss is reporting here on the thread about Grazy Dream. Remember that guy from yesterday? There's a reason why I pointed him out. Swaggins timed him out. And then Phil mocks him, complaining about the guy being punished. This was in a Snort Burnell clip. I don't have the actual clip, and I don't want to use Snort Burnell's work without their permission, and as far as I know, there's really no way to get a hold of him. But it goes something along the lines of, you were only timed out? Well, you're unbanned. You're here, right? That's the important thing. You're here to give me money. The give me money part, of course, was not included in Phil's rant, but then he just like goes on like yabber, 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 positive stream, positive stream, positive stream, and then Bob Ross voices. Someone sends Phil 6,000 bits, Grazy Dream donates 6,001 bits to just top them off. It's really crazy how these guys get fucking abused, not by just Phil, but by Phil and his mods. And they come back and just throw more money at him. It's ridiculous. Wednesday, November 14th, and we have a fucking hat trick here, guys, with the goddamn gifted subs. Soap Queen reports that Phil hits 550 and that they were able to disable their gifted sub to take him down to 549, but later on he did get one more gifted sub to hit that 550. So now we have both sub goals for the month of November hit. Yay, congratulations, Phil. You got there with your hard work and organic growth, even though your YouTube and Twitch views totally aren't trending downwards and you aren't circling the drain. Kama reports that Overrussell is showing 85 gifted subs for this month, which still keeps Phil down in that 460 range that I was talking about on Monday. So it doesn't matter how many fucking gifted subs he has. His real viewership, his real sub count, the subs that willingly forked over their money, not the people who were unlucky enough to be gifted one, is still in the 450, 460 range. We have Kama again on the Kiwi Farms. During the Hitman 2 gameplay, there was some random music that played, and Phil worried that he would not get paid because of the content ID.
Oh my god, they're playing copyrighted music. I'm gonna get in trouble. Yeah, I'm serious. I'm gonna get in trouble and get content ID and shit. And there's no option to turn it off, or is there? Hold on. Nope, it still plays anyway. Wow, that's bullshit. Even turning it to 0, it still fucking plays. How stupid. Well, I'm probably going to get content ID in this video and not get paid because same thing happened when I was in a different stage.
So the other day I the candy spot I burned in the basement.
Now remember, YouTube is an archive for him now. He doesn't edit anything for YouTube. Not like he edited in the past, but he doesn't do the playthroughs where he sits down, presses record, and addresses YouTube. No, he does that on his Twitch stream. He hits start streaming, talks to the stream, then hits start recording and talks to YouTube. And he'll hit stop and start recording to break up the videos automatically, so he doesn't even have to load them in Adobe Premiere and clip them out himself. It also amazes me how much he continues to shit on YouTube, to the point where Snort Burnell has the video of the pig biting its owner's hand. I mean, he really does bite the hand that feeds him. So he'll shit on YouTube, shit on Google, complain, but still expect them to pay him money. That's all he does this for, too, is the money. And this is just another clip that emphasizes, I'm playing this game for the money. Oh, it sucks that I did this whole segment and now I'm not going to get any money. I bet as soon as he finished that segment, he probably broke the recording and started another recording. So it's like, I'll have a 17-minute video that doesn't get monetized, but the other 87 hours of the gameplay is still monetized. But wait, yo boy Lem has a piece of advice. Just edit the music out? Huh? What are you talking about? Editing? That's easy. No, I'm just gonna tough it out with leaving it in there and letting it be a bitching point so I can hopefully get more pity cheers. Another great post from Nothing I Can Do, taken from Twitter, shows Jaha saying that he subbed to his channel and was immediately chat banned. Good luck, Phil. Now, for those of you that don't know, Jaha was supposed to fight Phil, and Phil backed out, saying, hey, wouldn't it be great if we just did cross chops towards the crowd? This was back in the day when Phil was actually, leaving his house and being social and going to tournaments and being a general asshole. But he thought it was people just didn't like him, not that he was an asshole, of course. But no chance to make amends, that was 10, 20 years ago, and Phil apparently still dislikes the guy. Doesn't even want to talk to him. Chat banned. This goes back to what I was saying earlier. Absolutely no way to interact with him. He probably got banned on Twitter after making this tweet. Now we end Wednesday with another post by Actually showing that Phil made almost $800 in tips, donations, and subs. So remember, while he's begging for money, even taking a day off on Thursday, talking about how he's double overdrawn, all of his credit card minimums just doubled, he's still going to take a day off, and he's still getting sometimes $800 a day. It's incredibly disingenuous where he's making good money some days while saying that he's completely broke, he has no money, he's got this tax thing coming up at the end of the year that he hasn't paid on, and he's going to take a day off. And remember, when we come up on the weekend, Phil had double streams on Sunday, and he canceled the night stream. So how badly does he need money if he can take a day off in the week and take a night off on the weekend? This is where I start to like Wings of Redemption over Phil. Wings doesn't pussyfoot around. He says, yes, this is my job. I need to do my job to make money. I lost 60 subs overnight. Let's try to get 60 subs today. Phil, on the other hand, is going to talk about how great his life is, how great it is to have his own house, be living with Kat, brag about making more money than Tevin, and then not even 2 days later, he's saying he's completely broke and overdrafting his accounts and things like that. Tevin doesn't talk shit about his money situation at all. The only time I can say Tevin did was when he was fired from his job, and he hasn't said anything about it since, as far as I'm aware. Tevin doesn't even monetize his YouTube. He collects all of his YouTube money through Stream Elements and PayPal. But he doesn't spend an hour and a half a day saying, hey guys, this is how you can tip me, this is how you can sub to me, this is how you can get money in my pockets so I can survive for another year of sitting on my ass and playing video games. And I bring up Tevin again because not at this point in the week, but on the weekend, he goes in hard on Tevin even more. So we've seen 2 weeks ago, he's going on Tevin during the Halloween stream. This Monday, he was going on Tevin, even admitting he's tried to take Tevin's channel down, which probably means that he had Bill Purnell taken down, They Call Me TXT taken down, and Almighty Tevin taken down off of Twitch. He's probably trying to do the same thing with his YouTube contacts. He's turning into Mundane Matt and Sargon of Akkad with deplatforming people he doesn't like. What's really funny to me is Phil thinks of himself as like a non-PC kind of guy, maybe even compares himself to George Carlin with how off-color his comedy can be, even though most of his jokes are about dicks, balls, shit, and ass. But even then, he hasn't done anything that risque since going on Twitch. He has since turned into a PC positive SJW, even using SJW tactics to try to get people knocked off of the platform just because he disagrees with them or because they said mean things about him. He's going to be the first one to do the pearl clutching, my harassment as soon as someone says something negative about him, which is probably what we're doing. But he's such a big guy, and he can take all the hate, and the hate fuels him and things like that. And he has such a thick skin, he doesn't let it get to him, but then he lets it get to him, and he goes on tirades about Tevin. And what's great is, I don't have it marked in here because I thought it was related to Kekken, but I guess Kekken is a DSP mod, so I guess it relates to DSP, and I don't have the links, and I'm sorry. The information is out there, but Tevin did restream Kekken on one of these nights. I ended up restreaming Spyro instead. But when Phil heard about Tevin restreaming Kekken, he immediately went into like, oh, look, this sick degenerate fuck will do it to anyone. When on Monday, when he was ranting about making more money than Tevin, he even said, if I go away, then Tevin goes away. He has no content. He has no creativity. He can't do this without me. He has to ride my coattails. Well, look, Phil. If you go away, you weren't streaming at the time. He can pick any other fucking autistic spurg on the internet who's streaming at the time and restream them. Someone who has 5-bit text-to-speech robot lady readouts and start trolling him to the point where he has to like stop his stream for like 30 minutes to reset his stream elements, to completely disable media share, to completely disable text to speech, to completely disable the alert box, and then get back to Fallout 76. Thursday, November 15th was Phil's day off this week. So this gives you plenty of time to go and get caught up on all his playthroughs so that way you can be there for the live action on the live stream when he comes back on Friday. Just kidding. You've probably got time to do better things in your life. But what's interesting is on Thursday he runs another fucking poll. After he's already said he doesn't take the results into effect on his streams, he just uses it as a form of feedback, not a guarantee that the result is ever going to win. So we have our option between Hitman 2 or Spyro on Friday, and then the loser will be the Saturday stream. Agent Proper Pangolin, who has a great channel that I think deserves a little bit more attention, he does something similar to what I do where he presents the facts on DSP, but he does it from the style of one of those Forensic Files episodes, you know, those murder mysteries, crime shows kind of thing. So go check him out. And in this post, he's pointing out from the Monday rant about how Tut was banned from Twitch. Well, the Tut account is still active, so that means it's in good standing order. Even after all the chargebacks, he is still on Twitch. Kama shows up on Kiwi Farms to also show the part from Phil's pre-stream in the Snort Burnell video, but also shows Tutankhamun is still on Phil's leaderboard, which is a Twitch integrated leaderboard. And here's the thing, if you get banned, you get kicked off that leaderboard. So for some reason, he's still showing up on the leaderboard, which would be counter narrative to this guy was banned from Twitch. Authentic Sauce on Kiwi Farms is doing some math on Phil's credit card debt. I don't want to get too detailed onto this post. I recommend you go and check it out because the guy does do a reasonable breakdown of Phil's debt and how it is possible for his minimums to double. Basically, his minimum payments going up have nothing to do with interest rates. It's credit cards seeing him as more risky. So they're not going to let him put more money on layaway. They want him to put more money in their pockets before they'll let him say, oh, I'll get you back later on that. Actually even gives Authentic Sauce a thumbs up and says, hey, good researched numbers. And I like Actually because he does good researched numbers. So Authentic Sauce is vetted by Actually, and I included him in the video here. Thursday, Phil is also already back down to 537 subs when not even 2 days ago he hit 550. He also has 90 gifted subs this month. Almost 20% of his subs are gifted. Even fudging, Phil is sitting at the 440 to 460 sub range. So even through this whole week where he's got 90 gifted subs, not this week, this month, 90 gifted subs, you subtract that from his actual number of subs, and then his real sub range, the regulars, the guys who are going to come in and try to get the sub badges, is still in the 440 to 460 range. I was even saying 450 to 460, but it is possible it could be as low as 440. Friday, November 16th, we start off with a 2 a.m. post from Phil saying he's feeling pretty depressed tonight. Anyone got something to cheer me up? LOL. This was made on his day off. He got to spend the whole day with Kat, supposedly. This is why he takes 1 day off a week, and his day offs have been kind of random lately because Kat's schedule is changing a lot. And I would have to speculate her schedule is changing a lot because she must work in retail, and we're starting to come up on Black Friday. A lot of big holiday sales are coming up. A lot of people are going to start pushing, rushing. Got to get your Christmas presents. So things tend to get busy around this time of year if you're in retail. Here's something to cheer Phil up. He's supposedly figured out how to get his Teespring merchandise to now show on his videos on YouTube. So now all those legacy viewers, all those people have been keeping Phil afloat by going through and putting his old playlists on repeat while they go and do work and let it play at home for their dogs and cats who are unable to sunset themselves to get away from the pain of Phil snorting. And he says he's also going to get an extra $1 per sale too. He even lets slip in his chat that nobody has bought anything in a while either. And from what we've seen in Phil's past, anytime he gets an influx of money, he starts to get a little bit more animated and get a little bit more happy. So maybe he'll get a couple of Teespring holiday sales and that depression we saw will go away. Here we have Warwick89 pointing out that Phil is the #1 Spyro streamer, only because he put himself in the wrong category. Instead of putting himself in Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, which is the PS1 version, and we have a gentleman named Drago710 with 4 viewers at #2. They're the only 2 streamers. This guy's speedrunning the game. That's why this game is on Twitch. Phil is playing the PS4 remake of Spyro 2, and it's not, I don't believe it's Ripto's Rage. Or if it is, it's on there as Spyro 2 Reignited Ripto's Rage. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a separate category for the PS4. So did Phil intentionally put himself in the wrong category to be on top? Who knows? Now, I know people get banned in Phil's chat all the time, but I really wanted to point out a certain individual who got banned on Friday. Phil was going on about Assassin's Creed Odyssey sucks now, and if you like the game, you must be stupid. Now, this is a narrative that Phil has said in the past, but what I want to point out here is Procifo is trying to throw Phil's logic back at him. He says, Kat said she liked the game and she beat it before he did. So does that mean Kat is stupid because she liked Assassin's Creed Odyssey? Well, that got him a silent lean forward ban. A ban, permaban, from Phil. So that means none of the other mods are going to unban him because they're going to see that Big Daddy Phil has the /ban on this guy. And if you can look on Actually's post here, this guy had, is that the 3-month or 6-month crown? He has a big bit badge and he has tipped money. Not just bits, not just subs, but real money to Phil's PayPal, and he still gets outbanned. So there's no shielding yourself if you get a sub or anything like that. Phil has no problem taking his biggest pay pig, and the second they make fun of him, they make fun of Kat, they make fun of Leanna, boom, chuck him right under the bus. Get the hell out of here. I don't need you anymore. But please give me money because my taxes. Saturday, November 17th starts off with War Dog Leader tweeting out, revealing that Dave's fans have been whispering him on Twitch, saying that if they were his brother, they wish that they would have died too. Just super classy to say that to a guy who lost his brother, only because he pointed out to Phil that he was doing okay after burying his brother, and Phil can handle getting broken up with Leanna. Keep in mind that during that whole debacle, Phil was already seeing Kat on the side. What's great is War Dog Leader tweeted at DJ Chisel, which is Almighty Tevin, and Tevin added in with, fits perfectly with this pick, also from Poopster420, don't get why detractors go after supporters, wish they would do something positive with their time. A lot of people on Kiwi Farms thought that Poopster was like some deep cover troll, you know, like a detractor who's trying to get in with Phil. But to go behind the scenes and whisper in PMs like that and be, I don't know, I guess on Phil's side, like Phil doesn't see that optics. So that kind of points Poopster might actually be a real and honest fan, and just shows how disgusting Phil's fans are. I mean, we'll mail Phil a 28-inch cardboard penis, but we won't say anything to him like, well, Phil, if I was your aunt, I wish I would have gotten gout and died. Also, that was King Jed VCMP, who is the one who posted the tweets to Kiwi Farms. Kama has yet another really good post here on the Kiwi Farms, comparing Phil during his Assassin's Creed sponsored stream versus Assassin's Creed yesterday, where he was just going on and on, salty, the game sucks, I'm sorry it does, and what a bunch of dumb fuck game developers. Maybe this is why this guy can't land any more sponsorships, because as soon as you pull the money on him, he is just going to go off and off and off about you. We've seen this time and time again with Laveria, with OP seats and Spawn seats, or whoever seats that Phil, I guess, got those companies out of business because of his fucking reputation. But yeah, he goes on to say, what a dumb game. Now, there are some voice clips in here, and I can't include all of them because I feel like I'll just be pulling away from this guy's post. I'll include the screen caps of the post, and of course the post link is in the description. It is worth checking out. A Shit Pie posted on Saturday, pointing out Darkside Phil in his own chat room, throwing some Tevin shade. He banned someone who asked a troll question, and a small child wandered into the room. We directed him to the daycare area, aka Tevin's stream. And then, of course, the fucking good little pay pigs. Whoa, sick burn, Phil. You called him a child. Yeah, that's Phil's fucking default insult for fucking everything. So, I think you really scared Tevin. He might stop restreaming you, DSP. I mean, these are all fucking really good comments. But the question that is begged to ask by a shit pie is, does he know the age of his viewers? And this is serious, because Phil has, in the leaked Q&A videos, talked to the viewers who gave him the $50 and be like, oh, well, I want to say thank you to your parents for letting you use their credit card to donate to my Patreon to get this sub goal. Let your parents know that I have a shirt on the way, and et cetera, et cetera. You know what? Like, they got to be under 18 if they're using their parents' credit cards and needing parental permission to donate to Phil and get a one-on-one Q&A video with Phil. Could have been a one-on-one shower video with him for all we know. Re-Entry Phantom quoted Kama. Kama's original post is talking about over Russell. Phil has received a whopping 1,000 bits in 4 hours of streaming. That's a top tip of $2.50. No idea how many tips he receives, of course. But so that's about $12.50 over 4 hours. And we can even round it up. No, if we round it up to 5 hours, it's in his favor. But I want to say that's like $3 an hour at best. Minimum wage in Washington State is $11.50 according to Reentry Phantom, and we all know Seattle's minimum wage is $15 an hour. So it just goes to show that Phil worked a minimum wage job. He might make more money than some of his streams. It even goes to show that if he did just night streams and worked during the day, he might make more money overall, because he'll have a steady income that he can put towards his definite essentials. You know, the light bill, the heat bill, and his food. And then the Twitch stuff can cover the variable expenses, like his entertainment expenses for the business. If he needs to go on, you know, buying $300 worth of games again, or just putting it towards his taxes. So if it's like, oh, I only got $200 streaming this month, or okay, this week, then you put $200 for taxes. Okay, next week was better. I made $1,800. You know, put that towards taxes. You know, use the variable money to pay down his debts, and use the definite, solid, hard-earned money, which is going to be the same week to week to week, as the stable thing to stabilize his budget. But of course, this makes too much sense. Phil has a finance degree, and I have to tell him how to not be poor. Slenderman pointed out that Phil has been talking about having behind-the-scenes issues that he's going to wait until his Ask the King on Thanksgiving Day to reveal to his friends. Is it because that it's a holiday and his pigs will be in a more giving mood? Or will they be with their families and see Phil is lonely and ask for pity bucks to come in? Could you be more transparent? I can't wait to watch this disaster. Thankfully, my family doesn't actually do anything on Thanksgiving Day, so I might actually be able to tune in and see what the secret behind the scenes issue is. But it's really, really fucking scummy for him to say, all right, I'm going to do Ask the King on a Thursday, which is Thanksgiving, so I can really lay on the waterworks and talk about this behind the scenes issue that I haven't told anyone else. And he's hinted at a few times this year. So we're finally maybe going to get a little bit of detail. I think on today, the day that I'm recording all this, that Phil even tweeted out that he's going to have a state of the stream podcast or whatever, and he's going to reveal these behind the scenes issues. So I really wonder what it's going to be. I'm willing to bet that there's going to be another emergency begathon video coming up from it. Like he's going to reveal that he lost partnership status on Twitch, or he's been permanently demonetized on YouTube, or maybe his credit card minimums doubling is really going to dig into him. Like really, really dig into him. If you go back to that post where someone breaks down the amount of money, I mean, it's a serious amount of debt Phil must have. And for them to double his minimums, that's basically taking him from maybe $1,000 to $1,500 a month on his minimum payments to $2,000 to $3,000 a month. So twice the Connecticut condo in price a month on just credit cards. And that's like the jacked up interest amounts. Like Phil's never going to pay that off if he only pays the minimums for the rest of his life. Crazy Dreams on Saturday messaged at Infinite55 in the middle of Phil's chat, where I guess Infinite55 was offering to try to find an explanation for Crazy Dream getting timed out. Crazy Dream even said, hey, go check out the chat logs. You can see I didn't do anything wrong. And Phil's like, I can't do that. I'm playing a game. Let's all calm down. And I'm going to do the Bob Ross voice and be real condescending and douchey to you. It was real fucking obnoxious. And so Crazy Dream even says, hey, you know what, Infinite55, I appreciate you trying to play the PR guy. I asked DSP for an explanation. It was given. I am not feeling like I will continue to support the stream. This is a guy who gave 32 gifted subs at least to the stream. And Phil only hit his sub goal numbers from gifted subs. 90 gifted subs. 30 of them at least came from Crazy Dream. So 1/3 of Phil's quote-unquote organic growth came from this whale who even got abused earlier, and even after the abuse still cheered 6,000 bits, $60. He's still talking about, you know what, I might pull away. If this is true, though, I'd be real shocked, because not often do Phil's abused pay pigs stay away. We've seen this with Tut. We've seen this with, who was it? Majin Buu. They get banned, they get chased off, they get made fun of, and they keep coming back and they keep throwing money at him. Saturday also opened up a really good story arc that kind of went on for 10 to 15 pages on the Kiwi farms. Shekel Showa 666 was watching Tevin stream and noticed it was spiking like mad. 1,500 to 3,000 video viewers to 2,400 viewers, back to then up to 3,500, and then back down to the normal 1,500. Very unusual. And now back up to 3K after an edit. And then DSP, because Tevin's restreaming DSP, so we get to hear DSP, immediately calls out Tevin for using view bots. Now, the reason why that this is interesting is because if you go to some of these websites where you can buy view bots, DSP's username is already registered. Now, there's no telling if it was someone from the community who went and registered DSP as kind of like a false flag kind of operation, and be like, hey, look, his email's already registered. I couldn't register an account with his email address. But that doesn't mean Phil verified and actually sent the money to do this thing. But I wouldn't be surprised if someone behind the scenes did this in Phil's name, even if Phil, the Godfather, didn't call for the hit on his own. But to call out Tevin in the middle of Tevin's stream and Tevin's views are spiking and dropping shows that, one, Phil was watching Tevin's stream while it was going on, and number two, called it out within like 5 minutes of it happening. So he was right in and tuned in and ready to see Tevin's view bots go in and out, not view bots, but his viewers go in and out because of the view bots, and call him out on it right that second. It wasn't like he looked back in the history, looked at Tevin's numbers on the stream on like Social Blade or something and go, oh wow, his views are real weird. Like he's normally at 1,000 viewers, but now he's up to 3,000. No. He calls it within fucking 5 minutes of it happening. Not even like waiting until the end of the stream or a break on his stream to get PM'd by one of his capos to say, hey, look, Tevin's numbers are in the 3,000s. He's obviously view botting. No. He instead calls it out as it's happening. Like, how prescient do you think he is about that? He had to have had some prior knowledge or inkling, or had Tevin's fucking stream up at the same time while he's streaming. It's the only way. So the reason why I pointed this out again, that it goes on for 10 to 15 pages, because people are trying to figure out, well, which service did Phil sign up for? And there's no way of really telling. Again, you can go in and try to register Phil's email address, and if you go through, then he didn't use that site. If it doesn't go through, then someone else either already did it, or Phil did go through and actually register on that site. But most of these sites are going to require you to verify the email address and then put down a credit card. So who knows? Not like Phil has a whole lot of income, according to him, to be spending on fucking viewbots in the first place. And then to send it on Tevin's stream and try to get Tevin taken down, where no one in the history of YouTube or Twitch has been taken down for using viewbots. You have to admit on a stream or a recording or somewhere to say, oh yeah, I'm totally using viewbots, to get viewbotted or to get banned for viewbotting. Otherwise, any schmuck can go onto these websites and put down $10 or whatever the minimum is, spike someone's viewership by 100 views, and then be like, oh, this guy's viewing activity looks real shady, Twitch, you better ban them. I don't like that idea. I don't like the idea of someone else can go and buy subs or buy views or whatever to try to get someone taken down because they dislike them. So Sunday continues the viewbot saga with Laughing Archives pointing out Phil's rant about the viewbots. These were screen capped by Nothing I Can Do and posted to the Kiwi Farms. And I'll try to do a Phil impression here. If he has more viewers than me, why does he have a job? Maybe people don't like being a socially awkward hermit that never leaves his house and actually want to contribute to society. Makes no sense. If he had way more viewers than me, then he'd be doing this fucking thing as a living too. He doesn't. It's fake. It's all fake. Fucking fake. People are so dumb to believe that shit though. But I don't give a fuck. Yeah, right. He doesn't give a fuck. He's going on about this still. He's been going on about Tevin for a week now. He'll get what's coming to him, called karma. Wow. Another fucking veiled threat at Tevin. He'll get what's coming to him. I wish I had the fucking clip for this. It'd be a little bit better. I'm already a day late on posting this though, so sorry for the poor research if you're still in this far into the video. Truth of the matter, absolute truth of the matter, if Tevin had 3K legit viewers or streaming me, okay, why is it that I can make a living doing this and raise enough money on my streams with my limited viewers, but he doesn't make as much money as me and has to have a job? Okay, Phil, here's the thing that I don't get about Phil. Phil talks about how he does this as making a living and he raises money on his streams with his limited viewers. He's like, He even said this on Monday. He's like, wow, I make way more money with way less viewers. I must have more quality viewers or something like that. Fucking Phil also this week was begging for tips because he gets that money right away because his Twitch payment hasn't come through yet. And his credit cards are doubled and he's got behind the scenes issues, yada, yada, yada. So which is it, Phil? Are you making enough money on your streams? Are you? Honestly, are you making enough money on your streams where you can be talking shit about Phil or about Tevin? Or are you fucking behind as you're always behind and you're making less and less and less month to month to month and you keep scaring off whales, the individual, the quality viewers as you call them, who give shit tons of money? Maybe you are circling the drain. And maybe just taking other people down makes you feel better. I don't know. But it's fucking sad. DSP, get a job. Eddie B has another great post on Kiwi Farms where he does an awesome breakdown of Phil's debt and income. This is basically to calculate what Phil's float even number needs to be. You know, his break even to just tread water, to just survive. It's a number that he's roughly been surpassing every month this year, even though his viewership keeps going down on YouTube and Twitch. I can't go into the entire post because this video is almost an hour long. I hope you guys enjoy the longer length. I know that was something that was asked for, and I know I'm a day late too, so that's why I'm trying to wrap things up here. I also think it's really funny that the day after Phil is going on and on and on and on about Tevin and his view bots, that actual bots show up in Phil's chat and they're spamming the N-word and Trihex's face, you know, the tryhard emote. And this, I think, was going on during Phil's pre-stream, so where he's asking for tips and donations and he's doing his rant, you know, talking about the spiel that he wants to talk about. He's not reading the chat. He's only reading Muxy because he wants to respond to cheers and tips and donations and subs and whatever. But no, his chat was a fucking mess, and Filthy Greenskin, who's an orc, got a good cap of it, and I have it right here. Now, this added a weird narrative, and I don't know why Phil went with this later on, but anyone who posted Detractor memes, Phil called a racist bot and banned them. And Tevin was pointing this out on the restreams, where if anyone posted a panda meme or joke or anything related to cat, he was banning them and saying, oh, look, these racist bots are still in the chat. And it's just so funny that they're racist, but only saying things about panda and cat. And like I said, Tevin was pointing this out on his restreams. Those racist bots that only talk about my ex and my girlfriend, my soulmate. Also posted by Kama on Sunday, Phil was the only moderator active during his Black Ops 4 multiplayer stream. No blackout, he's playing the actual multiplayer stream. His only way to combat the sheer, I guess, amount of trolls in the chat was for him to put it in 1 day follower only mode. And there were people who made it through, because you can cheer and the cheers go through even in the follower mode. And there were people who were claiming to be newcomers to Phil's chat, and they were saying, wow, 1 day follower only mode, that's not really welcoming for a new viewer. That's kind of like a big yikes. Why would I come here? How can I interact here? The stream was also incredibly unenjoyable, with Phil just completely shitting on the multiplayer aspect of Call of Duty. He was shitting on, oh, kill streaks make things flashy and it only attracts the kids and it takes out the skill of the game. I want a game with none of the specialist gizmos. I want a game with none of the kill streaks. He even shot down people suggesting, why don't you go play hard mode or hardcore, whatever it is, that takes out the specialist gimmicks, that takes out the kill streaks. Phil also hasn't unlocked everything in the game yet. One of the things I found useful in Call of Duty Black Ops 4 to get rid of the whole I run up, kill one guy, and then I get shot in the back was the acoustic sensor piece of equipment, because it flashes your mini-map with people making sounds around you, so you know where the bad guys kind of are. It's kind of like a free wall hack that's actually built into the game. It's pretty fucking OP if you don't think if you don't mind me saying. But no, the game is shit. The gizmos, the kill streaks, it takes all the skill out of the game. It's now become a children's game, yada, yada, yada. But what's really funny about this is if it's a children's game, why can't an adult master it? Why can't he play it as good as the other kids are playing it? He won't admit his age. He won't admit his lack of skill. He says skill doesn't even factor into this, and he's still terrible at the game. Again, another big piece of advice is your audience is going to mirror your emotions. So just being down the whole time, being bored, talking about how bored you are, making big exaggerated yawns about how bored and tired you are is going to turn people off. And it's going to make them go, I'm bored. I should go find something to do that makes me not bored. That's what happens when you're bored. But Phil, I guess, perseveres through it. Good for him. But it's going to not... it's going to drive people away from his YouTube and away from his Twitch. Why am I going to show up and watch a guy fall asleep on camera when I can go watch Dr. Disrespect, Tim the Tatman, Dr. Lupo, Myth, or Ninja? Any of these guys that actually have fucking emotion and energy and are entertaining to watch. I'm going to finish on a couple more things that happened during the Black Ops 4 gameplay. Again, Phil canceled his Hitman 2 stream for Sunday evening, so kind of took away a lot of the salt mining, I guess. But there was someone who got into a game with Phil, kept real quiet through the whole time, didn't say anything on the party chat, nothing in the voice chat, and then in the middle of the match, just goes, DSP, get a job. And then he started to say shout out to... but Phil blocked him before he could get it out. I have that clip.
Style tag deploy beacon online.
He got fucked up.
LSB, get a job.
Yeah, there you go.
Buddy.
Get an attack chopper overhead.
Shout out.
Shout out to getting muted, dumb shit. Shout out to being a no-life idiot who got fucking
Testing
immediately
hardpoint.
muted.
Mission clock is running down. Hardpoint located.
Where is it? Other side of the map.
Hardpoint locked down.
Shout out to getting fucked in the ass on stream. Yeah.
Hardpoint lost.
I couldn't get up the ladder. Great.
Hardpoint is secure.
Woo!
UAV standing by.
See, that guy's doing it all wrong. If you really want to troll me, what you gotta do is order giant cardboard penises and send them to the wrong address. That's how you actually fucking troll me. At least that's how I thought you do it, according to what my haters tell me.
Also, on another map, I want to say during Nuketown, there was someone who had a kid-like voice, might actually have been a kid, who just kept saying, Tevin blacked cat, Tevin blacked cat, Tevin blacked cat, Tevin blacked cat, over and over and over. It could have just been a shitty microphone too, because it was really warbly or whatever, mixed with the high-pitchedness of the voice, didn't come through very well. And Phil wasn't putting two and two together very quickly. He was sitting here going, Tevin has a black cat? What? But apparently they hadn't said anything to cause him to want to block them. Only just the annoying repeatedness of the phrase did Phil actually go and mute them.
Tevin's black cat, Tevin's black cat, Tevin's black cat, Tevin's black cat.
Shut the fuck up, you stupid kid!
Hardpoint.
Tevin black cat.
Oh my god!
Tevin black cat.
Who is it? Who is it talking?
What is that?
Hardpoint lost.
Did I get him?
Hardpoint locked down.
I think I got him. Oh my god, I couldn't take it.
And guys, that does it for my week in DSP. I'm sorry for it being a day late. I have been incredibly busy this week since it's only a 3-day week and I got to fit in 5 days of work. But I also got distracted watching Tevin and playing Doom. Also, on top of that, you guys have been wanting longer videos. And something that took a lot of time and editing from me was doing the voiceover part, just recording myself. because I go back, listen, have to find all my gasps of air and me stuttering or whatever, and deleting that and re-recording it and deleting it and re-recording it and deleting it and re-recording it. This was closer to more of a one take for each shot. If it sounded absolutely terrible or Rocky was going on in the background or something, then I would delete and re-record it. But should still be out, should still be good. We're also still good for a multiplayer stream on next Friday. That would be the 30th of November, the last day of November. We'll be playing some TF2 and maybe some Black Ops 4. If I find any opportunity to restream, you guys can catch me on Twitter or Discord to get those announcements. And I hope to see you guys there.